All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here.
We have Miss Mary Sumo that has many hats, many talents. Before we get into our interview, I was going to allow you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about some of the things you have going on.
Absolutely. So I am Mary Sumo, currently serving as Ms. Black Royal International 25. We are primarily based on philanthropy, leadership, and service. And a little bit about my platform. So I have a strong background in talent acquisitions, and usually so that my schedule doesn't get too hectic, I align my background and my platform with that. So it is preparing Oklahomans for careers in STEM across the workforce. So been really just pushing that platform since I've been, in leadership and serving in this role, training and getting individuals credentialed so that they can have sustainable careers. And just looking forward to contributing and continuing to contribute to the community.
Excellent. And with the community, you also don't just do pageantry, but you also have Miss Teen, Black Royal. Could you tell us a little more about the other avenues you have?
So yes, well, within our system, there's seven different divisions.
Mhm.
So aging from 5 to 50. So we have several different divisions that individuals can become a part of. We really push the elevation of Black culture, Black women, and that is starting with our babies, all the way up to, older women and younger teens.
For our question that I have is at the time that you started pageantry, did it feel more like an opportunity, pressure, or was it more aligned to your purpose?
So it was definitely more aligned to my purpose. But it was in a connection with what I've grown up doing. So I started out in pageants as a child, and I was in pageants in college. And in 2023, I was recruited by one of my sister queens. She was like, "You have everything that embodies a queen. Let's get you back into pageantry."
Okay.
And it wasn't anything that I was really considering, but when I thought about it, it was the perfect opportunity for me at the time to connect to purpose because I was grieving. I was grieving some losses, but I did not want to give up on myself. I wanted to continue to elevate myself, continue to push myself, cultivate myself to learn, so that grief would not, consume me. So it was really a part of my grief journey. And I reconnected with how pageantry kept me motivated as a child, motivated in college, right?
Hmm.
And so I gave it a shot and I got first runner up
Oh,
on a
wow.
national level, right?
Wow. Okay.
When I got back into pageantry. And then that's when I discovered, okay, Mary, you are good at this. This is kind of a connection to, your involvement in college. I was a showstopper. That was basically a scholarship, a performance-based scholarship to dance in a show
Okay.
choir. And so
Awesome.
it was right along, the lines of things. And so I was kind of always competitive in my childhood as well. I played sports. I attended a very small school, so I played basketball, track. I was in pageants. I was in all of that. And so it was a lifeline for me, really, during the time that I needed it the most. And that was, on a grief journey of mine.
So you're very well rounded. What kind of, so you played, so in the Gladiator arena, you play sports because you mentioned a little bit about your athletic background.
Okay, so the athletic background was more so basketball.
Okay. Okay.
basketball in high
Okay.
basketball in high school. Um, I wasn't afraid to, as I mentioned, it was a smaller school. So
Hmm.
was raised in Langston, graduated from Coyle High School. Literally, my graduating class was 20, like 23, 30, between 23 and 30 students.
Okay.
And so very athletic, you know. not until I, was connected to this study
Mhm.
did I determine that I guess I'm competitive. And so I do have that competitive background. And then I, of course, as I mentioned before, once I graduated, became a performer in
Mhm.
college, right?
Right.
And then competed in pageants as well. So that really, I would say, cultivated my mentality to actually really never give up.
Mm.
Losses are not definite.
Mhm.
You just have to recalibrate
Mhm.
and try again. So I'm very grateful for that.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I have another one for you. Over time in pageantry, did you feel more in control of your outcomes or less? Athletes are often psychologically centered around the ball,
Hmm.
um, and everything depends on it. So, again, I rephrase that. Did you feel more in control of your outcomes or less in control with pageantry over time?
So I felt in control of my outcome because just like athletes, you have to prepare, right? In pageantry, you have to prepare. You have to invest in coaching. You have to invest in, presentation. You have to invest in, your body,
Hmm.
how you look, the outer appearance, because you are representing an organization on the front lines, right? Just like, an athlete has to perform. And so you're being judged, your outer appearance, your intellect, your platform, you are being judged on, different levels. And so I felt in control of what I could control.
Hmm. Understood.
But over time, as you mentioned, over time, there are components that are not in your control, right?
Oh, could you go into those a little bit?
Well, there are things like it can be political, right? And
Mhm.
so even though as a performer, you could show up your best and you're judged, by judges and let's just say you're the winner. You still have an administration that you have to lean on, right? You have all those different moving pieces. And honestly, in pageantry, the the deeper you dig, you'll discover that, all systems are not created equally, right? All systems are a little different.
Okay.
And so those are things that, you want to consider. And those are more so the things that are kind of out of your control when it comes to the vision that other people see for you or, the support that
Mhm.
um, that's provided and things of that nature. So, yes, to an extent, you have control, but then there are some portions of things that could be out of your control that could blindside you that you
Sure.
want to always be aware of.
Understood. That's a perfect segue into my next question.
Hmm.
In those systems where things are out of control, um, when things went wrong, who carried the blame? Was it you, the system, or the judges?
Ooh, well, that's a good question. So, if it's sometimes the system can be bigger than you, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes the system can be bigger than you, the brand itself, And so taking that in account, it could be the system, right? That is a bit, could be a bit bigger than you. And so um with that being said, it's just several things that you have to, take in consideration when you decide to get into spaces like this, right? And it comes with experience. When you decide to become a public figure,
Mm-hmm.
there are things that you can do to better equip yourself so that you're in more control of the narrative, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that is having a PR system
Mm-hmm.
in place,
Mm-hmm.
having
Okay.
attorneys in place that read over contracts with you, right? Having solid support systems that will advocate when things don't look right.
Hmm.
And th- those deciding factors, those things in place will help you maintain control so someone doesn't, write the narrative for you.
So, the question here is there an equivalent object or symbol in pageantry that controls attention, identity, or survival in the same way? Think of your crown and sash or a mirror or scorecard.
Hmm. Okay, so that is a good question. Definitely the crown and sash. It attracts a lot of attention if you are just looking on the surface level. And if you're in pageantry, a lot of us women are going to probably have some things in common. And that is we love glam, probably. We love our community. We love to look beautiful, all of those things, right?
Mhm.
But if you're really fixated on just the external, you'll forget about the woman inside
Mm.
the crown and the sash. So that's why it's so important, that the woman that is in the crown and the sash, she knows how to convey that, hey, it is just not, I'm more than just the crown and the sash. I have
Mhm.
initiatives that I support.
Mhm.
I consider myself intelligent. I'm educated. I'm confident, right? And when the system forgets about the woman inside the crown and sash, it becomes shallow. It becomes probably unfair.
Mhm.
It'll have the motives will become different or distorted or skewed. And that system will probably fade out, right? But probably, the crown and the sash, it gets a lot of attention. But I really encourage people to dig a little deeper. Do not get fixated just on the external beauty of that woman, because I guarantee you, if she was properly judged fairly by judges who are qualified, there's more to that woman, right? If she invested in a pageant, she trained for it, she has a coach, she, understands glam, she's ready to represent, on a global level, she most likely is educated, has a solid career. There is more to that woman besides the beauty, and people get fixated. They get fixated on that, and they almost even want to even discredit or
Oh, wow.
stereotype. And that's probably the wrong thing that you can do when an individual, when a woman wins fairly, when she wins a pageant, she has worked for that. And so I just encourage individuals to dig a little deeper. When you see an individual that has won, there is more to that woman, and she's worth exploring outside of just that crown and sash.
Understood. I love that. A great answer. I've talked with you outside of here, and I know that you are in corporate. And I'm gonna land the plane on this last question. It says, looking at your life in corporate, what did pageantry give you, and what did it take from you?
So, pageantry and corporate, as I said, I have an extensive, I consider myself a subject matter expert in talent acquisitions. And my passion is supporting marginalized groups
Okay.
and empowering those groups that are underserved. And so I recently worked on a project for one of the leading aviation companies, spearheading a national HBCU initiative, hiring HBCU students into the STEAM industry. And so I hired over
Congratulations.
1,000 HBCU students across the nation, something that
Wow.
I'm very proud of. It
Absolutely.
did lead me.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was very passionate about that initiative. It led me to a national award, a Women of Color Award, Rising Star Award in Technology in 2024. and then also Employer of the Year. And so I have some really strong wins. And so I just wanted to expand on that within the pageant world. And so um it led me to my platform, preparing individuals for careers. Primarily, I like to focus on STEAM careers.
Okay.
Those individuals that major in STEM, they make about 80% more than non-STEM majors. And so I really like to empower the underdog and
Understood.
really shed light on individuals and level the playing field, right? And so it really gave me an additional segue into the community from corporate.
Mm,
Pageantry gave me a segue into the community.
that's
And
awesome.
so that is why, I'm appreciative of the opportunity to leverage, my skills and my career
Hmm.
and to see how I can impact the community. And I was able to do that through pageantry.
Okay. And the second part of that question, was there, if anything, was there anything that pageantry took away from you?
Hmm. You know what? In pageantry, I'll say if individuals do not take the time to learn the woman,
Hmm.
pageantry could possibly be a turnoff for some. It can be a turnoff. Um, if you have situations where people try to control your narrative, that could possibly, be a challenge because again, pageantry can get a little competitive. It can get juicy. So here in Oklahoma, what I've experienced that people can be a little cliquish,
Okay.
right? So it's like, oh,
Okay.
you didn't graduate from this place, or you're not associated with this or that, and they don't take the time to understand how to leverage the woman. So me personally, because I have the mindset of resilience, and it is tied to my athletic background and my competitive background, knowing that defeat is not definite, right?
For sure.
I don't believe that anyone can take anything from me, right? I just think it's a matter of being able to connect with your people, like the people that are for you, the people, who see you, right? And
Sure.
so I'm going to say no, pageantry has not taken anything from me because I'm a strong believer in my faith that what is for me no one can take away. God, whatever God has for me is for me, right? And so staying steadfast on my faith and my strong mentality of losing is not definite.
Hmm.
It just means you have to try again, or you just have to you have to pivot, or you have to, be creative, right? And
Hmm.
what is for you, you will eventually align with. So I'm going to say you definitely can have challenges. You
Sure.
definitely have, challenges within pageantry. But it has not taken anything from me. I've just had to pivot in certain instances.
I love it. That's all I have for now.
Well, no, 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 Chris, I think maybe I missed it though.
Sure.
But I think you had another one. Maybe I
Which one?
missed it when you asked it, but maybe you answered it already. Y'all tell me if, because
Drop it down. Go ahead. Help
were
me
there
out.
moments that you felt emotionally or physically expendable to the system? Did you ask that
Mm,
already, Chris?
No, I did not get to
mm.
that one.
He hasn't asked that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good one, baby. That was the one right there. No, not just the one. These were fabulous
Uh-uh.
questions. I'm sorry, Chris.
You're
But
fine.
yeah,
No.
I was chopping at the bit to hear your answer to. I'll ask it again. Were
Sure.
there
Go for it.
moments you felt emotionally or physically expendable to the system?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, just yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
y'all, boy, okay. So as I said, I rejoined this um MBRI it's my third pageant system, Ms. Black Royal International. So I've been in the Black pageant systems, you all, okay?
Okay.
And they are not all created equally, right? So I'll say this, it's very important that I'm sorry. Let me start with this. I'm going to start by saying Black women deserve to have quality pageant experiences. They absolutely deserve to be a
Absolutely.
part of safe spaces, right?
Mhm,
Because a
mhm,
lot of these systems, they have their initiatives, they have their core values, right? But in the process, some things are being missed. So
Mm-hmm.
what I can say where I am now, I feel safe. I feel supported. I feel like my wings will are not clipped. I feel like the administration has the capacity to receive me and understand my value. And I think that is important when you are looking at pageant systems to join. You want your experience to be a good one. Now, and I'm not talking from a place of being a bitter queen that loses.
mhm,
I've won pageants, okay? I win them.
Right.
Um, I haven't I haven't come in less than first runner up in a pageant. So this is
mhm,
not a bitter queen, right?
mhm, mhm,
Um,
mhm,
it is important that we take Black pageant systems serious because your mental health can be impacted
mhm,
by
mhm,
certain situations.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
We're real humans. We're not
mhm.
just, oh, let's switch you out and just, you're replaceable. No, we
Right,
should
right.
handle each other with care. And the
Mhm,
moment that we are not doing that and treating each other fairly, it's a red flag. When you see a retention issue,
mhm.
when you see a high turnover rate, when you are hearing terrible reviews about a system, that's a red flag, and there is something broken somewhere.
Yeah,
That's all I'm going to say. And I
yeah,
know
yeah.
that, it can be, listen, I'm a fashionista. I know Black women have this reputation for being divas and all that kind of stuff. But seriously, on a serious note, if anything, we should be able to come to a pageant system and feel safe to an extent.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
when
mhm.
it's not, then
Right.
I'm going to recommend recalibrating. But what I can
Mhm,
say now, where I am now, under the leadership that I'm under now, I feel
mhm,
like I can soar. I feel like my mind is respected.
mhm,
I
mhm,
feel like there is not intimidation.
mhm, mhm,
And that's the environment that I want to be in, period, point blank.
mhm,
So there could be a brand name, and there
mhm,
could be a quality system, and I'm always going to pick the quality of a system before I
mhm,
pick a brand name, because at the end of the day, it can not picking a quality system or not considering all the factors. At the end of the day, it could be of a detriment to your reputation. So that's
Yeah,
all I'm gonna
wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
say.
said a mouthful. You said a mouthful. And so I could say so much to you here, but one of the things I noticed about it, and I had a little time in pageantry a long time ago. And
Oh,
it wasn't something I would repeat, but and I'm not a bitter queen. I won, but hey,
yeah.
um, I want to say that as far as a sport, it tries to pretend like once you're inside, it kind of tries to pretend like a team sport, but no,
Mm, mm.
no.
Very right.
Do you know what I'm talking
Interesting.
about?
Yes.
Can you do you that's
Yeah.
a marvel, to and the only other place that I've seen that phenomenon where you're faced with, oh, y'all presented to me this like I'm on your team, but really we're
Mm-hmm.
competitors, is at the
Yes.
doctoral level. That's the only other place I've seen that is in doctoral school. So,
I'll add a place. I used to box, and on a
okay.
boxing team, boxing is an individual sport.
Mm,
You are on a team, and we spar,
Wow.
yeah,
and
Wow.
yeah.
whoever it gets
So,
very
Yes.
good.
put that in your hat, Miss Sumo.
Wow.
Yeah.
This
You have
sport you're
you
in is,
definitely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But before, I conclude and everything, I do want to say, Chris, good job, good job, good job. Bless you, bless you, bless you,
Thank you.
bless you.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you too. For
But I do want to make
Absolutely.
sure that I centered, the
hmm
study.
hmm
I want to say, and these are some notes that I wrote before the meeting. So y'all tell me if I did this, and if I didn't do it, let's fix it right here, right here, right now.
Sure.
So here's a note that I made. We are examining uh, not just performance. We're not judging. We're examining Miss Sumo's performance, but we're really looking at what that performance cost the human nervous system,
Mm.
identity,
Wow.
and relationships over time. That's what we're trying to examine.
Absolutely.
And
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
when we use the word arena, we mean any environment where public evaluation shapes how a person survives, succeeds, or struggles. I really do mean that. I really do mean
Yeah.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, absolutely, pageantry qualifies as an arena because it involves ranking,
Mm-hmm.
judgment, measurements, discipline, appearance, reputation, and internal pressures. Oh,
Yeah,
this
all
is
of
the
that.
stuff. This is the stuff. And so, my interview or this interview with you is not sensationalized. No, it's treated like lived experience. We're not
Mm-hmm.
spectacle. Uh, we're not here. Like I said, we're not here to inspect you, but we're here to understand the system that shaped
Yes.
where you are. And
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
if you're saying it's a good place, we're looking at how did she get to that good place? I mean, under a
Mm-hmm.
not a
Yes.
microphone, what? A
Mm-hmm.
microscope. This matters because young people often enter arenas without being taught how power, image, pressure, and identity really function. And your story helps fill in that educational gap.
Mm.
So that's the stuff that I really want to be sure to say because
Yes.
that's how it matters. This is, and I do want to add that your picture on the front of that magazine is turning out real pretty. I want to show you what it looks like.
Oh, thank
I'm gonna
you.
take it off record though. So, and
Okay.
unless you guys have something else you want to say, the recording is, I'm gonna turn it off. Chris,
I just want to thank you all for meeting me on short notice, kind of. So I just want to thank you all and put that on recording. Thank both of you.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And she's so
Absolutely.
beautiful. She's
And
so,
thank you so much for having me. If anyone wants to reach out or look more into my platform, they can find me at pipelineoklahoma.net. And my contact information will be there. But just, I'm so grateful for this educational opportunity. I know that it is going to excel just like it's doing now, but I cannot wait to see just how far this study goes because it's absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary.